You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello, dear listener, and welcome to the latest episode of Modern Musicology. I'm Stephanie Seymour, and joining me tonight are my lovely and fabulous co-hosts, R. Alan Seiler.
What's up?
Rob Levy.
Greetings, fellow stargazers.
Ha!
And international man of mystery, Anthony Williams.
Hello.
Just a hello tonight.
Yes, but it's a very proper sounding
It was
hello.
distinguished.
Hello.
Hello. So I decided to pick a very light, airy, and fluffy topic for tonight's episode because I think we need some lightness and fluffiness in our lives right about now, given the current state of affairs. So I have asked everyone to pick their top 5 favorite TV theme songs, and we're going to discuss why we love them. So Alan's going to play a little clip of each one, and we'll go around the horn from our 5th to our number 1 picks. And also just want to say, if anybody doesn't hear your favorite TV theme song mentioned by us tonight, or if you wanted to comment on something we've listed, you can write us at modernmusicology1@gmail.com, or you can find us on any of our social media platforms and just write us a comment and we will read it in a future episode. So before we start, though, I am throwing this over to Rob because he wants to just mention some sad news.
Manny from the Stone Roses has passed away. And if you hear any of those Stone Roses songs and how they start, they've got a really unique bass line to them that's a little different from a lot of the other Mancunian bands. And he really had a distinctive bass sound. He played on a lot of other people's records. And at that period of time in Manchester, all the people that played in bands knew everybody. So Manny pretty much knew a ton of people. And he later would join Primal Scream and play a couple of their records. And he was a band called Freebase with Andy Rourke from the Smiths and Peter Hook from New Order and Joy Division, which is a pretty great supergroup when you think about it. So just wanted to acknowledge that. It's pretty sad. I mean, Oasis put a giant picture of them up at the end of their final show on the tour, and they shut off all the lights in Manchester for 3 minutes. So they don't do that for just anybody. Yeah. And just if you look at all the tributes that have come in, literally a who's who of sort of indie music is sort of shouted out about this. So we just wanted to talk about that.
Wow. Well, thanks for mentioning that. That is sad. We're very sorry to hear that.
And Rob, you got a shout out too.
Yeah. Oh. So I wanted to give a shout out to the really nice people at Fiddlehead and Fern, which is a coffee house in St. Louis where I live. They are closed every Tuesday. But I was thrilled to know when I came in that every Tuesday they throw on an episode of this podcast because everybody on the staff likes to hear it. And it's what they have on while they work for an hour or so every Tuesday. So thanks for that. That's kind of cool.
That is very nice.
Yeah. Lovely. So I just wanted to say a shout out to them, and we appreciate that. And we appreciate you, listener, wherever you are. And if you listen from a place that's interesting, please, let us know. We'll be happy to recognize you for being awesome and cool.
And even if it's not interesting, even if you just listen in your bedroom, that's fine. Let us know that too.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm happy to be in everyone's bedroom.
Yeah, you are, you slut.
You know it.
All right. Control ourselves.
Yeah,
we have not gotten to the first song.
We have to, though.
No. Okay, we don't. All right. Well, are we ready to kick it off then with the first song?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Hello world, here's a song that we're singing. Come on, get happy.
happy.
I am happy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know that's a pretty obvious choice, but for my generation, that's pretty much a staple. The theme song for the Partridge Family, Come On, Get Happy. So this is a little bit interesting because for the first 2 seasons, the theme song was actually called When We're Singin', and it was, written by Diane Hildebrand and Wes Farrell, and, it was sung by not David Ca it was not sung by David Cassidy, but by season 3, they had him sing it, and they changed the lyrics, and that is the more popular song that we know nowadays, and that's what you just heard, so, interestingly enough, though, as we know, David Cassidy sung that and many of the Partridge Family songs, and Shirley Jones sung backup for a lot of that too, but the kids' voices were all members of the Wrecking Crew, which is just, and the
Yeah.
play too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had the best top musicians of that time playing these amazing pop songs.
Well, and the Wrecking Crew were involved in other of these kind of projects as well.
Yeah.
And one that I have coming up. Anyway.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yes.
I remember watching The Partridge Family when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
All right, Rob.
So I will say that there is not any version of the Red Dwarf theme song that is bad, because the first season was sung by Jenna Russell, who is a British stage actress who's done a lot of stage work and stuff. And then season 3, I believe, when they sort of repolished the show and made it look nicer with nicer effects and things, it got re-recorded. They took off the long sort of intro leading up to it, but it's still catchy. It's great. It's by Howard Goodall, who did the music for Mr. Bean and Blackadder and Vicar of Dibley and bunches of other shows. And he's also a fantastic Beatles scholar, and he's written a couple books on musicology. He's just a really cool cat. But I like this one because it's just flat out stupid and silly. And I went to see Marty Wilson Piper from the church one night because he was playing. And for his encore, he came out, and I hear this guitar progression, and I'm like, wait a minute, I know this. And he did this in his set, which was pretty goofy and weird. So that was fun and unexpected. But I will say that it also just kind of makes you feel good. It does the thing that a TV theme is supposed to do. One, it's instantly recognizable. 2, it makes you feel really good and you think about the show. It's also something that sort of just has some staying power. You're like, that's going to stick in your head for a little bit. And it still has. So
Right on. That's a good pick. I like it.
yeah, that's one Anthony liked too. He was going to put that on his list as well.
I was.
Well, speaking of Anthony, let's go to his number 5 pick.
All right, Alan, roll it. Well, that was, of course, the Game of Thrones theme by Ramin Djawadi. And there's a common theme between all of the ones I've picked, and that is they're all kind of epic, either in a tongue-in-cheek way or in a serious way. And, Game of Thrones 10 years ago was the big thing. Everyone was watching Game of Thrones. And the number of people who would just walk around singing this theme tune was amazing. And for what's basically a piece of classical music, is huge for the 2010s and 2020s. And it's still carrying on because it, of course, became the theme to House of the Dragon, the carry-on show. I guess it's technically a prequel, but I think the staying power of that theme tune really says something. There's even a video out there of Jack Black effectively doing an a cappella version of it while
Really?
running around on rooftops waving a sword.
Oh, good Lord.
It's incredible. But just the way that theme tune, along with the show, hit the zeitgeist, combined with how epic it is awesome. And there's a really great video when Fender released their Game of Thrones line of guitars, where they had a bunch of guitarists come in and play improvisations on the theme tune as guitar solos, with Scott Ian from Anthrax just dutifully doing the rhythm part. It's awesome. The way that theme tune really hits the popular imagination was amazing. And as I said, I really do believe it was a big part of the show's success.
I had no idea about there ever being a Game of Thrones guitar line.
Yeah. I will send that to the group, and Alan, if you can put that in the show blurb,
Okay.
that would be awesome.
Cool.
Wow. I had no idea. Never heard of that before. So that leaves it for me, and I gotta set this up a little bit, because there was in no way that I would ever be able to narrow down to 5 favorite theme songs.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I just made a huge list, and I was going to narrow it down from there. When I made my huge list, I noticed that there were some patterns, and from those patterns, I put together a series of categories and labeled all of these different themes under different categories. I then narrowed down to just the 5 categories that I felt most strongly about. Category number 1 is fake bands. So this goes right along with Stephanie's pick.
Yeah.
And, the Partridge Family was definitely one. There's a show on Paramount called Girls 5 Eva.
Yes. I
It
love
is so
that show.
amazing. And then there's the Daisy Jones series, which has a great theme song. But I wanted to go with something that was like the big one from my childhood. Even though I watched Partridge Family, I was all about the Monkees. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Everybody knows the main theme from the Monkees. Here we come, and they use that song in both the opening and the closing. Starting in season 2, they used a different closing song, or a different song for their closing theme. And that was a song written by Peter Tork, sung by Mickey. And I'm going to play it now. So here it goes. I absolutely love that song. That's one of my favorite Monkees tunes. And I always sort of like default to songs that were written by the guys instead of the producers or whoever, like bringing in outside writers to, fill out the show. The Monkees themselves were really talented guys and did a lot of their own songwriting. And that's one of them. And talking about the Wrecking Crew, they were the studio musicians for a lot of those early Monkees songs.
Yeah.
So that connection between that and Partridge.
Yeah, that's
a guy named Glenn Campbell played on some.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
So Steph, that brings it back around to you.
Okay. And again, speaking of people who didn't actually play their own songs, but pretended to, we're going to go with the Brady Bunch. So go for it.
Oh my God.
Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up 3 very lovely girls. All of them had hair of gold, like their mother, the youngest one in curls. It's the story of a man named Brady who was busy with 3 boys of his own. They were 4 men living all together, yet they were all alone. Till the one day when the lady...
All right. right. I know what could be more obvious. Come on, it had to be on the list because it's like the ultimate and probably most famous TV theme song of at least of my generation. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, so yeah. Again, this is another song sung by a different group of people on the first season. This was recorded by the Peppermint Trolley Company, and they actually arranged it and sung the theme for the pilot. And after the band left Acta Records, they re-recorded the vocals, and that was actually sung by some session singers, Paul Parrish, John Beeland, and Lois Fletcher. But in the second season, which is the theme we just heard, the voices were replaced by the actual kids in the show, by the Brady Bunch. And again, that's definitely the more well-known version of the song.
Yeah.
Like the Partridge Family's song. So, you know, had to do it. It's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. What do we got now?
Rob.
We got Rob. Ooh, we're going into a real deep one here.
We're going deep. This is the first of my selections that I've picked that has won a Grammy Award.
Wow.
Won a Grammy in 1990. Also, when you hear this, you'll instantly know what it is, even if you've never watched the show, which is good. It also sort of brought back the steel guitar for a while in the 90s as well, which is great. And just as a piece of music, like Anthony suggested earlier, it's epic.
Yeah.
And it's sweeping, and it's very broad and emotional, and it just sort of has this etherealness going through it that really sort of fits what's going on here. So this is Mr. Angelo Badalamenti with the theme from Twin Peaks.
Oh, I love it so much.
The other thing I love about this is that it's used sort of peppered throughout the whole show, throughout the series, which I think is really fantastic. There's also a version of that with vocals by Julie Cruz. If you've never heard Floating into the Night, it's probably one of the best records of the late 1980s. Basically, David Lynch heard her voice and just said, okay, that's it, you know. And she ended up doing some stuff with Blue Velvet and a couple other Lynch projects as well. But yeah, it just sort of sets the mood for the show in terms of time and place. And you just sort of know, okay, I don't know what this is going to be, but it's mysterious and kind of quirky and weird. And you just kind of can tell that with the theme. So I think it really sort of is a nice motif. For
it was a real cultural phenomenon. I mean, that was just, you know.
Yeah. Huge. Yeah.
Who killed Laura Palmer?
That's right. I did.
Yep.
No.
Now we know.
Wait, I thought you shot JR.
Oh, I did that too. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anthony, what have you got for us here?
All right. Well, I'm going to have Alan roll this before I talk about it.
Okay.
So
all right. Here we go.
Let's do it, Alan. Well, that was, of course, the theme to Blake 7, written by Dudley Simpson. And for anyone who is familiar with Doctor Who, Dudley Simpson was, of course, the main composer during the 1970s era of Doctor Who, but he was also the main composer on all but 2 episodes of Blake 7, and that included writing the theme song, or the theme tune. And again, it's just this wonderfully epic and triumphant piece of music against what is ultimately a show that oscillates wildly between extremely grim and obscenely camp. And it has no in-between. But that theme tune just sends shivers down my spine every time. and I can picture the title sequence that goes with it, the moments that the Liberator, the spaceship, flies across the screen, the moment that the face of Blake with the crosshairs that says eliminate underneath comes up. It just, every minute of it correlates to that title sequence to me, every second of it. It's just brilliant.
It's also, it almost made my list too, because it's one of these sort of like seminal themes from my like nerdy childhood teen years that I remember. And I love the fact that there's a little bit of everything in it. You got the horns and you've got like this big sweeping orchestral score, but you've got this like really great drum bit in it that I really love. That sort of sets up the song.
And before we were recording, when we were just chatting, Alan and I were saying how wonderful it would be to have a full orchestral version of that theme recorded.
Yes.
Oh,
it would be so good.
Yes.
There's a lot of power behind that theme, and to have a full orchestra deliver that power would be amazing.
Yeah. Alan, over to you.
Okay, well, my second category, so these aren't in necessarily numerical order, but my second category is sci-fi. And there's so many sci-fi themes that I absolutely love. Blake 7 is one of the ones that was on my list. Space 1999, which in its 2 seasons had a completely different theme in the first and its second season. And I love both of them equally. So I've never been able to pick one or the other.
It's a shame about the show.
What's that?
I said it's a shame about the show itself.
What about it?
Season 2 sucks.
No, it doesn't.
Say.
Oh my God, I'm shutting your feed down right now.
Alan is throwing me off the podcast.
Lost in Space also has 2 different themes. They did a new theme for their 3rd season, both of which were written by John Williams. You know, Jurassic Park, Star Wars, that John Williams, back in the early part of his career when he was still known as Johnny Williams. And they're both amazing. But I knew it had to be a Star Trek theme. And I was really debating between DS9 and Voyager. And I think that compositionally speaking, Voyager kind of edges it out as being a really, really great piece of music with really unexpected chord changes and stuff. So here it is. So Voyager is all about a ship that has been basically thrown to the opposite side of the galaxy, 70,000 light years away from home. They're completely cut off. They're on their own. And I love how that theme has that sort of sense of isolation. And I think it's so evocative, and the chord progression is really kind of unexpected. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. So it is, I think, my favorite Star Trek theme of all.
And it's interesting too, because Jerry Goldsmith was thinking of Westerns when he wrote it. And it does very much have like Red River or, you know, some of these other Western things going to it, which is very interesting for a Star Trek theme. And it kind of does fit sort of with what they're doing with the show. It is the most, I think, sweeping of the Star Trek ones. And that's what I love about it, is it's just very, very sweeping and dense. It's also very textured, which I love, which you don't really get on a whole lot of the Star Trek stuff. And you're not picking Enterprise.
Hey, I have faith of the heart, Rob. Screw you. I mean, I'll agree. It does give that sense of isolation. It's not triumphant like The Next Generation, for example.
No, it isn't.
You know, it's a very different theme tune. And it just, you're right, Alan, it works. And for the record, I do like Voyager.
Oh, yeah, I love Voyager.
A lot of people out there who don't, so I'm putting my...
Yeah, well, they're dumb. So.
Nailing my colours to the mast and saying Voyager's brilliant, particularly seasons 4 onwards.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Steph.
Okay. This is my one foray into non-70s TV
boy.
games. So here's some camp for you. Hit it.
It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
But where are those good
to rewind. Laugh and cry.
Yay! I mean, listen, there was like a long period of time, I mean, like years, that Bob and I would watch this show religiously. We now occasionally watch it here and there, but it's been on like for 752 years, so we still catch it and sing. Where we do the parts, we do the Peter and Lois characters and sing the song, and it's like part of our DNA.
Wow.
I just think it's catchy, and it's so Seth MacFarlane. I mean, it's such a good mix of like jazz hands meets pop meets, just caricature. Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane is an absurdly talented man.
Yeah, he is.
As a musician, he's quite the crooner. He's clearly a very funny guy between all of the Family Guy and related shows, plus the Orville, plus, everything else he's been involved in.
Yeah.
And to put it in perspective, Steph, you said it feels like it's been going on for a million years. I mean, that show started when I was in high school, and I'm 38 now.
Right.
I mean, it's been going on 20 plus years.
Yeah.
I think in terms of cartoons, the only thing
that
has been going longer at this point is The Simpsons.
Yeah.
And like consistent quality, it's just, it never ends with
The Simpsons and South Park.
I was just going to say South Park. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And I totally did not think about it, but the Orville theme could have been in contention on my list too. It never even occurred to me, but I love that theme.
Good point. I didn't think about that
He's
either.
a smart guy.
Yeah.
He is a
All
smart
right.
guy.
What do you have, Rob, for us here?
So one, for the sanity of my co-hosts, and also because I thought long and hard about this one, edging out the theme from The Love Boat.
Oh man.
We're edging here? Okay.
I liked this theme a lot more than the TV show whenever the TV show was on. And over time, I've learned to really appreciate the TV show. And oddly enough, the pub I go to, in the sort of jazz sort of soundtrack that they play there, my favorite bartender has snuck this one in. And the thing I think makes it great is you don't know necessarily that it's a theme tune. It's just great as a piece of music on its own. We've also talked about this on our episode about basses as well. You can go back and listen to that as well and comment on it. But this is the theme from Barney Miller. I picked the first season, but like the Red Dwarf theme, they did a couple other different variations of it. But the first one's great. The bass line on it is great. The song was composed by Alan Ferguson, who also would later go on to do the theme from Charlie's Angels. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And some other stuff too. Yeah. And this is a fantastic just piece of music. And there's people that don't even, much like the theme from Taxi, that don't know anything about the show, but they know where the music's from. So I think that's also what makes a great TV theme. So this is the theme from Barney Miller. Got great drumming on it. It's got a really cool throwdown guitar on there, and the horns. So it's really great for me. I really dig that.
And if you just take the bass and drums, it's like you're watching an 80s porno.
Speaking of edging,
sorry, I'm determined to drag this show into the gutter tonight.
you are in a naughty mood tonight.
Apparently so.
That's a great pick, Rob. I love that theme song. That's great. Anthony, now what can you drag us down even further with?
Right.
All right. So this next one is actually from a comedy show that was kind of a parody. And it's a show called Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, which what they did with this show was interesting because they filmed a fake 80s horror show that they claimed was never recorded. And then the various actors then played the actors who were supposedly in this show. So they were really playing the actors in the show, then the actors that were in the show, and then there was the actual actors. It was
Meta.
very layered, very silly, absolutely ridiculous, really lays on the parody aspect hard. The whole thing claims to be, of the original show, written by, directed by, and produced by the same person, being Garth Marenghi, of course, author, dreamweaver, visionary, plus actor. And it features a lot of greats of British comedy, and the theme tune is suitably epic. And the composer for the entire 6-part miniseries, Andrew Hewitt, who composed the theme tune as well, actually got a BAFTA nomination for this show as Best New Composer for Film and TV in 2004. So, cool. Alan, hit it.
I'm Garth Marenghi, author, dreamweaver, visionary, plus actor. You are about to enter the world of my imagination. You are entering my dark place.
And the later you go on in that theme tune, eventually there's this kind of choral part where when you listen to it, the voices are just going, dark place, dark place, dark place, the dark place. It's amazing. It's like the perfect piece of 80s parody done in the mid-2000s. I love every second of it. And if you haven't checked out the show, definitely go and do that because it's incredible.
I like the idea of it, so...
Yeah,
it's very silly, and I mean it at times is very kind of intentionally sexist to show what attitudes would have been like in the 80s and how they kind of completely miss it. It's very funny.
Cool. I'll look for that.
Yeah.
So my third category, this was my biggest category. I realized that a lot of the themes that I was kind of pulling toward are premise songs, and that are like themes that set up the premise of the show for you. So every week you get told how the story gets started, or who the characters are, or what the setting is. So most all of these, well, I think all of these have lyrics, so they all tell you what you're going to be. So even if you like start on the middle of season 6, you're told what the basic story is in the opening credits. And some examples of that are Puffin' Stuff, The Nanny, one of my absolute favorites, Green Acres, Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
You know, you get the story of them going on a 3-hour tour and how they all got to the island. Brady Bunch, we heard earlier,
yeah.
WKRP, Fresh Prince.
Partridge Family.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many of them. The one that I went with, though, you'll know immediately. So here it is.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name. Troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
Oh,
So
it's like a
this one
heartfelt
isn't
song.
as on the nose as most of these other ones on my list, but it tells you what this bar is to these people that are your main characters. Like, this is why they all congregate at this bar. So it sets a place for you, as opposed to giving you a storyline or an introduction to the characters. It tells you where this is taking place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a great song. And I didn't know this until today when I was putting this, all our sound clips together. There is a collection on Spotify of all the different variations of the theme song that this guy made, where he's like, the first version is completely different. It's like it's a totally different song. And then you go through other renditions that have a different number of verses and completely different lyrics. And then the last track is the final one that got used on the show. And it's a really, really cool progression of the creative process. And I thought it was such a neat listen.
Oh, that's so cool. I really love this song. Yeah, it really sets the mood for the show rather than, like you said, tells you what's going on. It's just a mood setter. It's really great.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a little bit more than halfway through. So we're going to take a quick break right here, and then we'll be back in 30 seconds to give you some more great theme songs to listen to.
We have a weekly podcast called Earth Station Trek where we talk about Star Trek. So we'll go live on Thursday evenings on YouTube, and then it's available after the fact as a podcast, either talking about the latest Star Trek episode or a legacy Star Trek topic.
We have been doing this podcast for 4 years now.
This is the first true Earth Station Trek live panel.
This is so exciting.
Yeah.
This is a milestone. Hi.
Your mics are really loud, and we're doing the panel on the other side.
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay. We'll be quiet. Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for being quiet.
And we're back.
Yay.
And we have a banger to play for you for my number 2 pick. Just please take a listen to this voice. It is spectacular.
Well, we're moving on now to the side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on to the side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Fish don't fry in the kitchen, beans don't burn on the grill. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues.
Hell yeah.
Oh my
Rob, I know
gosh.
you want to talk about this one too, but oh my God. So this was written by Jeanette Dubois and also sung by Jeanette Dubois, the actress. Yeah.
Who was
It's
one
just-
of the leads in Good Times.
Good Times.
Yeah.
Yep. And she also sung that. Well, she sung backup on the Good Times song.
Backup. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is, I mean, it is this voice, the soul in this voice. I could like listen to this song for hours and hours and hours. It's amazing.
It is so good.
Rob, I know
Yeah.
I stole your pick, but
No, it's fine. Jeff Berry also helped do this, who did a bunch of TV stuff
yes.
with Norman Lear. Like he's on a
Yes.
lot of the Norman Lear stuff. I think he worked on All in the Family and Archie Bunker's Place as well.
Mhm.
Which Archie Bunker's Place or All in the
Spin-off.
Family almost made my list as well.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
this one sort of, I love the gospel feel to it
Mm.
as well as the soul feel to it. And it's one of these songs that has sort of outlived the show in terms of having a cultural impact. You know, like it gets played on commercials now. It gets played on like radio stations. I have a friend of mine that closes out his DJ sets at 3 a.m. with this thing.
That's great.
So it's sort of it's a TV theme that has left a cultural impact.
I don't
much
know
like
if we
Cheers
actually
did.
stated that it is from the Jeffersons. I don't know if we.
Oh,
Yes.
you're right.
but-
Everybody
Yeah.
knows that. As soon as you hear it, you know exactly.
I know.
Well, Anthony might not.
And,
He's
you know-
very young and from Britain. so-
Yes. For our younger listeners and yeah.
But yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a banger.
Yeah, it's a banger.
Yeah, it was on my list too, but we'll talk about that in
Oh
a
my
minute.
goodness. Okay. All right, Rob, what you got?
I have one that's not a banger, but it's kind of
Nope.
it's from 1981. It is composed by Mike Post. So pretty much everything in the 80s was either written by Steve Bochco with the composition by Mike Post. Just
Yeah.
That's just how this worked, right? He did music for Magnum PI, the A-Team, a couple other things, right? This song won 2 Grammys in 1981. And I really, this sort of launched my love for procedurals. Good ones, good gritty ones, because this show is fantastic. It's called Hill Street Blues. And it's the theme from Hill Street Blues. And it sort of has this like really cool jazzy thing to it. It's kind of got this thing where you visual when you hear this, you visualize. You may not ever watch the actual show, but if you've seen the opening credit, you just visualize the opening credits, and it just sort of works, right? It sort of came out the time when Chuck Mangione was doing some stuff like this, and it's just got a nice little harmony and a melody to it, and it's really smooth. That's the only way I can really say this, is that This some bitch is pretty smooth. So this is the theme from Hill Street Blues by Mike Post.
Dispatch, we have a 911. Armed robbery in progress. See surplus store, corner People's Drive, 124th Street.
It is not
Also
a banger.
sets a mood. No, not a banger, but
No.
sets a mood. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't intend to have so many sort of like really jazzy things with funky guitar riffs. I got a lot of funky guitars going on, but that's got that really cool little horn thing in it. It's got this really cool little like sort of downbeat to it that really works. And yeah, I just think it really flows well, and it's got a sort of pacing to it I like.
Nice.
Lovely. Yes. Anthony, what do you have now?
Well, there's a slight through line from my previous one to this one, in that Richard Ayoade was one of the people in Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, and then this next show, he was the host of the revival of it in the 2010s. So this next one is a theme tune that's actually called Force Field. It's by Zach Lawrence, and it was the theme tune to The Crystal Maze, which was a British game show in which contestants had to compete in a series of games to effectively win golf ball-sized glass crystals that would enable them to gain time in the crystal dome at the end of the episode, where they could win some money. It was a wonderful, wonderful show. I loved it as a kid. It's very, very entertaining. So, Alan, roll the theme tune. It's so good. I love that theme tune so much. It's so late 80s, early 90s. And it again, it has a sense of the epic about it.
Mm-hmm.
We have such a variety of stuff. It's like, like Jefferson's to Hill Street Blues to Crystal Maze.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Rob keeps trying to take this in a jazzy, funky direction, and I'm determined every time to bring it back to the epic. How dare you bring funk and jazz into this, Rob? Epic. Give me epic shit.
I love epic stuff, but the thing is, this like the theme. Some of the theme stuff I'm picking is not stuff that's in my musical oeuvre.
Yeah.
Normally, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
and I generally love my TV and film scores to be sweeping and broad and epic. But yeah, for some reason,
So what you're telling me is you've gone out of your comfort zone, and I have 100% pulled up a U-Haul and moved into your comfort zone.
No, I think well, yeah, but there's also room for both for me, right? Because I also love incredibly camp TV. Theme from Batman is one of the campest things ever.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
You know, the theme from Gilligan's Island is incredibly dumb, but it's fantastic. So yeah, I generally am kind of going for jazzy and funk. It might just be a mood thing or something, but that's kind of my vibe too. So,
all right, Alan, tell us what you have.
Well, since two other people were laying claim to the Jeffersons, and I had already had it on my list, I went with something totally different. My fourth category, when I was laying out all these themes that I was considering, the Norman Lear themes made its own category because he had so many shows throughout the 70s and 80s, and they all had great theme songs. And the most obvious one, the most iconic one, is All in the Family. But when we were doing our, when Stephanie was giving us our assignment, she told us we can't take songs that were originating somewhere else and used as a theme. It has to be something written specifically for the show. So All in the Family is not that. It's an old song that was used as a theme with Archie and Edith singing the parts. But Good Times, an amazing song. Maude, Jefferson's One Day at a Time, just great themes.
That almost made my list, One Day at a Time.
It's so good. But the one that I landed on, here it is.
Hell
Now,
yeah.
you talk about funky. That's it.
Yeah.
And that was
Sanford and
that was written by
Son.
Quincy Jones, and Quincy knew Red Fox pretty well. They had known each other for a long time, and Red Fox was a comedian who was very well known for racy, kind of raunchy material. And when the producers came to Quincy and said, "Hey, we would love you to write a theme song for this show," gave him the outline of the show, said it's going to be starring Red Fox. And Quincy was like, I cannot even imagine Red Fox being put on network family primetime television. But he's like, okay, but I'll write you a theme song. And he wrote this in 20 minutes. And based on the premise of the show, he knew exactly the feel, the vibe that he wanted to go for with the theme song. And the title of it is Street Beater. And he wrote it specifically for the show, but he just brushed it and then recorded it in about 20 minutes also, which is crazy.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like quirky, like the show. I mean, like, right?
Yeah.
It's quirky like the show and like the actor, the characters, I should say.
I'm just imagining the conversation of, oh, this will never work.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. And this was, as a number of Norman Lear's shows were, this was based on a British original. That was an old show back in the 70s called Steptoe and Son, which does not have nearly as good a theme song as Sanford and Son. So
right on.
All right, so our top picks. Steph, what you got?
Top picks. Okay, I'm going to say that this is a little bit obscure 70s show. Super kitschy, like kitschy beyond kitschy. Please hit the song, and then I will talk about the show.
Marshall, Will, and Holly on the routine expedition met the greatest earthquake ever known. High on the rapids, it struck their tiny raft and plunged them down 1,000 feet below to the land of the lost.
Before Stephanie says anything else about it, dear listener, it's a shame this isn't a video podcast, because if you could see the dance that Stephanie was doing to that, it was phenomenal.
Thank you so much. Well, I mean, so I think we were saying like most TV theme songs, or many of them, outline the plot of the show.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's really necessary most of the time, because you could, easily figure out the theme of a song, the theme of a show, just by like watching the show for like 1 minute. But if you were to turn this show on and not know anything about it, I don't think you would really know what the hell was going on. You'd be super confused.
Right.
So I think this song is very helpful, because it's like, why are Marshall, Will, and Holly from the 1970s somehow back in time with like dinosaurs and Chaka the caveman
And
kid
Slee
and the
Stacks.
Sleestak, who, like, by all accounts, are the slowest moving bad guys of all time. So I
Right.
don't understand how they were very much of a threat, but
Yeah.
unless they snuck up on them, But anyway, like I said, kitsch beyond kitsch. It's totally catchy, totally melodic. And in fact, I almost covered this tune as like a hidden track on my new EP,
What?
but I decided against it. Yeah,
Oh,
I was going
Steph.
to. I don't know if I.
Oh, you got to do it. Of course,
I
now,
know it's kind
now
of.
the secret's out, so there's no point in it.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see. Anyway, I love my Land of the Lost. It's just Holly was a bit of an idol for me when I was a kid. I
Wow.
loved her. 12-year-old Holly.
I loved that show so much. When I was growing up, man, that was everything to me. I loved it so much. It was so weird because they're thrown back in dinosaur times, but then you've got cave people who talk and these weird lizard people called Sleestaks. And then you had who were just like, and then you had like the one like wise Sleestak, and I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah.
But then they had like the big tray of like crystals, and each crystal had a different power. It was such a wacko show, but I loved it so much.
Totally like someone was on acid making that show up.
Yeah.
Like Sleestak in like scuba gear and we'll just paint them green.
Yeah, it was like a really low rent version of Creature from the Black Lagoon, but they walk around on land and they're never in the water. Oh, it was such an amazing show.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but it sounds like an acid trip.
Oh my God.
It was an acid trip.
It was so great. And Alice, the Allosaurus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was the companion for a whole lot of other shows by the same production company that did like Wonder Bug and Dr. Shrinker, and all had fantastic themes. Right.
The Bugaloos. Oh my God.
The Bugaloos.
Oh my God, the Bugaloos. Yeah.
Love them.
The one that almost made my list was Lost Saucer, but
Lidsville was great.
Yeah, too. This one is so fantastic because the vocals on it are just so great, right?
And what's his name?
Wesley Ure.
Wesley Ure sung the theme.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so now we're gonna just go in a 180, aren't we, Rob, with your pick?
Yeah, continuing the TV shows that no one but us has ever heard of, except for the Jeffersons and a couple others. This show only ran for 2 years, but most people will know it from the relaunch in the early or the mid 20 whatever knots. But so back in the day, I was maybe 7 to 8 when this came on, and I remember watching it with my dad. It's the TV show called SWAT, which had Robert Urich in it and a bunch of other people. What's interesting about this is it's first of all, it's very catchy. It's also kind of got a little bit of an epic thing going on. But for the week of February 28th of 1976, we're counting them down. This was the #1 record in the country for a couple weeks in 1976. I play this in my DJ sets and people go crazy for it. It's the theme from SWAT featuring on guitar Mr. Ray Parker Jr.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I had him sign my copy of this. Everyone always brought up Ghostbusters stuff for him to sign, and I bring up the theme from SWAT, which I have as a 12-inch single, which both sides is just the theme from SWAT. But it's really good. So this is the theme from SWAT. And it's got this really great break in it later that you don't really hear in that. It's like, it just has a completely different break that you hum along to it later. You just have to listen to it later.
Rob, this also sort of reminds me of a James Bond theme song. It's almost got that little man of mystery kind of sound to it.
It sounds like Anthony.
Yeah, it does. It sounds like Anthony.
Not sure how I feel about that. I'd prefer something of the more epic theme tunes I've been putting on for this. But,
when you made your list and you sent it to us, and I was looking at it, and theme from SWAT, I had no recollection of that at all. And then when I was putting the clips together and I was listening to it, I was like, oh my God, I remember that song. And I remember it more from Top 40 Radio, because the 70s was a weird time where you had hundreds and hundreds of hit singles that were instrumentals, and a lot of them came from movie or TV themes.
Yeah.
Rockford Files was a big hit on the pop charts. Yes. And I had completely forgotten about this song. So I was listening to it and I was like, oh my God, I'd completely forgotten.
All right, Anthony, what is your numero uno?
All right, my last one is actually from a cartoon. And that cartoon is Gravity Falls, which I think is one of the most interesting animated shows out there. Before we started recording, we were talking and I mentioned how layered it is as a show. It's one of those ones where you watch it as an adult and there are themes that you wouldn't pick up as a kid. But if you're watching it as a kid, you wouldn't realize that you're missing a damn thing. It's such a brilliant show that touches on the supernatural. Well, it doesn't just touch on the supernatural. It's all about the supernatural and the weird. It's fantastic. And its theme tune is one of those ones that every time I'm playing drums on my thighs while I'm whistling along to the melody. I think it's just brilliant. So, Alan, roll it, please. I think one of the things I really love about it is it almost follows a similar formula to a show that three of us didn't pick because we would have had to fight over it. And that's the Doctor Who theme. So it has that kind of rolling rhythm underneath with this melody on top that just works so incredibly well.
I liked it too. And it's got this sort of zippy little thing going on for it too. So it's very upbeat, which I think is pretty great too.
And if you haven't seen the show, it's on Disney Plus. I hugely recommend anyone watches it. As I said, if you're an adult, there'll be things and jokes in there that kids won't pick up on. There really is something for everyone in that show.
My first thought was when I was hearing that little, it was like a little hamster running on a wheel. Just it's a good song. That was cool. All right, Alan. I mean, the way you close this program out, I'm so happy. Go ahead.
Well, mine's from a kid's show also. And there are so many, like from my growing up years, Saturday morning cartoons, but also later on, like, you would get some afternoon shows. There are so many themes that I love from cartoons. Animaniacs, Carmen Sandiego, and not a cartoon, but a kid's show. Sesame Street has an amazing theme song. Fraggle Rock, The Jetsons. But the one that I went with is one that I absolutely loved as a kid. And it is still one of the most fun theme songs I've ever heard. So here it is. You'll know it.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We've got some work to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. You know we got a mystery to solve, so Scooby-Doo, get ready for your act. Don't hold back, 'cause Scooby-Doo, when you come through, you're gonna have yourself a Scooby snack. That's a fact. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, here are you.
Man, I love it.
I love it.
So before we wrap up, there is one other one that Anthony mentioned that I wanted us to play separately, not as one of our picks, but because we are recording this show on November 23rd, which is the 62nd anniversary of Doctor Who, one of the most iconic television themes ever created is the original theme for Doctor Who. It was composed by Ron Grainer, but it was recorded for the show by Delia Derbyshire. And it's so different from what he composed as far as the way it sounded that when she played it for him, he goes, "Did I write that?" And she goes, "Mostly." And it is an early example of electronica. It was cutting edge. It was unlike anything that was really being heard on British television at the time. So separately from all the rest of our picks, I wanted to throw in the original version of the Doctor Who theme. Yeah.
I mean, it's iconic, Alan. You know, we've all, or at least three of us, have long loved that show. There's something haunting about that theme tune, something mysterious, and you know, it's lasted for over 60 years at this point, with only minor changes. I mean, over time, there's been the addition of fanfares, the addition of additional instrumentation. But at its core, it's still the same theme and still capturing the imaginations of modern generations, just as it did with my parents.
And there have been, like you said, a
ago.
lot of different versions of this theme that are either fully synth or fully orchestra or whatever. And some of them are great, some of them are less, but I don't think any of them match the mystery and the just absolute eeriness of the original version.
Yeah. And also, you know, just the fact that it was a technological breakthrough to make this, right? At the time, you know, they weren't splicing and doing break beats and effects like they were with this, right? Now it's like just go into the computer and make the song. This is literally trial by error. Delia was a genius, and we realize that now. It took a while to have everybody realize that. But this thing is so attached to like so many other things culturally now over 60 years that it is absolutely perfect. And it doesn't matter which version of it you hear in some way, shape, or form. Even the ones you're not the biggest fan of, you're like, at the core, I love this.
All right. I think that wraps up our program. And I had a great time doing this. I think it was really fun. I love to hear everybody's picks.
Yeah, me too. And especially television, because that's something we all have grown up with. It's part of our lives. It gives you that evolution of culture, of history. You know, it's a representation of its time, whether it's forward looking or retro. I just love television.
Yeah, me too. I mean, so of course, again, it's such a limited thing to do 1 hour on this. So if we offended anybody by leaving something out, please let us know.
Yeah,
but don't blame us, because we just had to fit it into the time.
Yeah,
I think we might have to do a second one, because I've already thought of another.
We can do that.
Part 2.
Yeah, we've got a whole year of more shows to do next year, so plenty of opportunity.
Exactly. Alan, do you know what's coming up in terms of next shows?
Ooh, I sure do. Next week we have a good buddy of mine. His name is John Malahai. We used to work together, and then he jumped ship to go work at Turner Classic Movies. And he has got 2 books out. The newest one just came out about a month ago, and it is all about 80s movies. So we are going to be talking to John about the music of 80s movies.
And it's a great book.
Very excited about this show. And he's a great dude. And I'm so looking forward to having him on our show. So that's what's coming up next week. Don't miss it.
Fantastic. All right. Everybody let people know where we can find you. Anthony, where can people
I was going to say everybody all at the same time.
Just blurt it out and people can decipher.
So as always, I can also be found on the Watchers in the Fourth Dimension podcast, watching our way through all of Doctor Who from 1963 until wherever we're up to when the show actually catches up, or when we catch up to the show, I should say. As always, you can find that wherever you like to get your podcasts, including probably wherever you're listening to this one. So check us out. And if anyone wants to follow me personally on the socials, you can find me on Instagram at Englishman in ATL.
All right. Alan, where can people find you?
Well, he has a Doctor Who podcast. I have a Doctor Who podcast. It's called Doctor Who A to Z, and more properly, Doctor Who Alton to Zygon. So you can find that and all the other crazy shit that I do, Doctor Who books and all this kind of stuff that I've written at cosmiccreative.com, KOZMIC creative.com. Over to you, Rob.
So you can find me on the interweb doing radio for Louder Than War Radio, Mondays from 6 to 8 Greenwich Mean Time, 12 to 2 Central, 1 to 3 Eastern. And then later on Mondays on the Face Radio in Brooklyn from 5 to 7 Central Time, 6 to 8 Eastern Time. And then this is where it gets wacky, kids, on Saturdays on Eardrum Buzz Radio. And that is available. There's basically twice on Saturdays, once at 9 a.m. Eastern and the other one at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, but that's Pacific time versus Eastern and Central time. So it's crazy. And then there's another one coming, but we'll talk about that when it's ready to happen.
Oh, very nice. All right.
All right, Stephanie.
All right.
I know people want to find you.
Okay, well, I hope so. But you can find me on Facebook. It's Stephanie Seymour Music. You can find me on Instagram at there_r_birds. I also have a website, therearebirds.com. And you can find me on Bandcamp under my name and also on Spotify and all the streaming platforms. And I think that's going to do it for us, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And please tune in next week as well. And we shall see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Au revoir.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.